Look, I had to get a box to hold everything. This is going to be a great episode. Stay tuned. Keep reading. Hi, Terri Gillespie here, and welcome to my first episode in our new home in Illinois. What do you think of my office? It's still a work in progress, but I do love it, and I love the colors. So thanks for stopping by. Thanks for waiting while thanks for waiting while I tried to get boxes unpacked. Packing up over 2,000 square feet of junk takes a while to undo. So we're still, like I said, a work in progress. So anyway, very excited about November's top picks. So let's see. Let's start with our lead book, which is Tea with Elephants by Robin Jones Gunn. Now, I'll tell you why I'm so excited about this. I have been a Robin Gunn fan for 20 years. And what I love is I love her books that focus on sisterhood and developing relationships with other women. And her Sister Chicks books were amazing, funny, touching, relevant. And now here's her new series, The Suitcase Sisters, and it begins with Tea with Elephants. Don't you love that? I love the cover too. And once again, in a fresh way, she's bringing in relevant women's issues, funny humor, and plus her description of exotic places and foods. You can just practically smell the masala. You can maybe not so much smell the gaminess, but anyway, kind of did. But anyway, great book. So I'm interviewing Robin, and that'll come out on Wednesday, the 4th, December 4th. And I met Robin years ago, golly, probably 15 years ago. And it was just great reconnecting with her. So anyway, so this book is published by Revell. Good for you, Revell. And it comes out in the usual formats. So, that's better. Okay. So if you don't know anything about Robin, here's a little bit about her. Robin Jones Gunn is the best-selling and award-winning author of more than 100 books, including the Sister Chicks series and the Christy Miller series for teen girls. Her books have sold more than 6 million copies. Robin and her husband have 2 grown children and 4 grandchildren and live in Southern Cal, which is where I was born, actually, where she co-hosts the Women Worth Knowing podcast. The details in this novel come from Robin's trips to Africa, where she strolled through a tea field, slept in a treetop hotel on Mount Kenya, and went on a safari with her Kenyan friend who makes delicious masala chai tea. So this is considered contemporary fiction. I would say contemporary women's fiction. What else can I say? I just so excited. So here's a summary. When longtime friends Fern and Lily get the chance to fulfill their dream of going on safari in Kenya, they welcome the break from their complicated worlds back home. But the journey will provide more than a change of scenery. It might just give them a new perspective on the lives they'll return to. And you can see that there's some depth to it, and the faith journeys of the characters are amazing. I love going on trips with Robin's characters. All right, so this released October 15th, so you can order it. I'll have a link down below in the description section for Revell. Revell will give you the links to all sorts of different outlets. So depending on what you prefer and you've got your special deals with, then you can just click on that one link and find what you need. All right, let's read. All right, the prologue. And she always starts each chapter with a little saying. And also she has recipes in the back too. I wanted to be sure and let you know about that. Learn to be a faithful friend to your soul. Hildegard of Bingen. Some mornings I wake up thinking, I've just heard the chittering call of the cheeky monkey that watched Lily and me from his loquat tree. I'm certain I can smell the spicy, sweet fragrance of a steaming cup of masala chai placed on the nightstand. You there? I'm there. All right. Book number 2. The Burning of Rosemont Abbey by Naomi Stevens. This is published by Bethany House, and it came out also October 15th. And it's considered mystery, and really it's a historical mystery as well. Now, this I think is Naomi's second book. So I didn't read her first book, but after reading this one, I'll probably pick that up and give it a read. So here's a little bit about Naomi. Naomi Stevens is a bookworm turned teacher turned writer. Her first novel, Shadow Among Sheaves, was an INSPE Award shortlist contender and the winner of the 2020 Carol Award in debut fiction. Though she has called many places home over the years, she currently lives in New York with her husband, her 2 children, and a rascal of a dog named Sherlock. All right. So here is a summary. In the sleepy post-war English village of Wilbeth Green, everyone believes Paul Everley burned Rosemont Abbey, then disappeared. Only his twin sister, Louisa, is certain of his innocence. With the aid of Inspector Malcolm Sinclair, Louisa will stop at nothing to clear her brother's name and solve a murder no one else believes was committed. Sounds good. It's really good. And lots of red herrings, so it really took a great spin for me. All right. First paragraph. England, 1956. Louisa felt him die. What a great first line. Through the years, she'd heard many strange stories like this, of twins who could sense when their sibling was suffering or dying without being physically present. She'd never understood why people went out of their way to tell her stories like that. She'd always thought they were ghastly. But the first line, Louisa felt him die. Great mystery, Naomi. All right. Set in stone. All right. Kimberley Woodhouse. And Kimberley, of course, she also writes with, I keep wanting to say Jennifer Peterson. That's her daughter, but Tracy Peterson. And they're incredible mystery writers and historical writers. So this one came out, well, when did this one come out? I'm not sure. I think it might have been, okay, it might have been in August, but I'm not sure. Anyway, the long and the short of it is order it, go to your bookstore. And this is also published by Bethany House. And the link down below will give you lots of different outlets to purchase from. All right, so if you're, well, I didn't even tell you the title, Set in Stone, and it is book 2 of Treasures of the Earth. So Kimberley is an award-winning, best-selling author of more than 30 fiction and nonfiction books. Kim and her incredible husband of 30-plus years live in Colorado, where they play golf, spend time with their kids and grandbaby, and research all the history around them. All right, so considered historical mystery, suspense. So here's a summary. A dangerous scheme could bury their long-held dreams forever. From the time she was little, Martha Jankowski has been digging in the dirt, much to the dismay of her mother. Now she dreams of being a paleontologist and is determined to make her parents proud by uncovering the next big discovery. When Martha finds what she hopes to be a fully intact dinosaur skeleton, one that could win her an acclaimed exhibit, she learns another team is competing against her and could steal her chance at being recognized for this momentous discovery. Paleontology student Jacob Duncan has fulfilled his dream of digging for dinosaur bones at last. In a race against time, he and his team are bent on unearthing a complete skeleton to claim a museum exhibit with their names on it. But when Jacob meets their charming competitor, Martha, and uncovers foul play within his team, love and danger grow hand in hand until a menacing ruse threatens to destroy it all. Boy, and I'll tell you, whoa. Surprise. Very, very much surprise ending. Let's see here. All right. Now, what's really cool is there is a Christian paleontologist named Earl Douglas in real life. And Kimberley quotes a little bit from him on all the beginnings of all the chapters. So it's kind of cool to get that perspective back then and see when was he lived in the 1880s. Chapter 1. It is hard to establish a philosophy that is optimistic and yet will fill with the terrors of this world. 1872, Colorado Territory. Martha, step away from that ridge. At Father's deep voice booming behind her, Martha startled and backed away from the edge of the mesa. 2 strong arms wrapped around her small frame and swept her to safety. Father shifted her around to see him, his eyes dark and serious. Another good one by Kimberley. Okay. Michelle Griep. It's German, it's Griep. It's not, it's Gripe. I think it's Griep. I can't remember. Okay, this is of Gold and Shadows, and this is a new series, book 1 of the Time's Lost Treasury. So lots of archaeology and paleontology titles here in the last few months of releases. So it's been interesting. I find it fascinating, actually. Okay, so this is published by Bethany House, and it was released a number of months ago. So order, and that link will be down in the description section for Bethany House. Actually, it'll be for Baker Publishing, which owns Bethany House in Revelle. Great people. All right, so, oh my goodness. This is her. Where is her bio? All right, let me pull it off her PA. All right. Best-selling author and Christie Award-winning winner Michelle Griep is a sure bet for entertaining and immersive fiction with over 20 novels in print to date. From Regency-era London to the American frontier, there's no historical setting that has proven to be too much for Griep. Now making her Bethany House debut, Griep weaves a tale of love, mystery, intrigue, and an Egyptian curse set against the backdrop of the gaslit streets of Oxford, England. All right. Okay, so here's the back cover copy. The shadows hold secrets darker than they ever imagined. In 1888 Victorian England, Amy Dalton navigates a clandestine dual life. By day, she strives to establish herself as a respected Egyptologist, overcoming the gender biases that permeate academia, but with a heart for saving black market artifacts from falling into the wrong hands. She is most often disguised as her alter ego, the shadow broker. After 8 years in India, Oxford's most eligible bachelor, Edmund Price, has come out of the shadows to run for Parliament and is in search of an Egyptologist to value a newly acquired collection. Expecting a renowned Oxford professor, Edmund instead finds himself entangled with Amy, the professor's determined daughter. As they delve into the treasures, their connection deepens. But trouble emerges when a golden griffin, rumored to bear the curse of Amentuck, surfaces, and they're left to wonder if the curse really is at play, or if something more nefarious is hiding among the shadows. Ooh. All right. Chapter 1, Oxford, England, July 1888. Cemeteries always smelled of earthworms and damp dog fur, especially after a rain, and Brudge rather liked it that way. It made death more tangible, imminent, an irrefutable reminder that life balanced on a knife's edge. He patted the blade in his coat pocket, the hard lump of it a reassurance that the shadow broker wouldn't get the best of him, not this night. Brudge would be the victor or die in the trying. Ooh. Bad guy. Bad guy alert, and he's one of many. Oh, Tessa. All right. Tessa Afshar's latest book, The Queen's Cook, and it is Queen Esther's Court. I don't know if this is going to be, I know the previous book kind of was a part of that, but I don't know if we can consider it a series or not. So this book released a couple weeks ago on November 19th. So buy it. It's good. It's so good. And the recipes, there are recipes in the back that actually there are recipes online, even more recipes online. So Tessa is just a dear. She is a sweetie pie. Okay, so if you don't know anything about Tessa, here's a little bit about her. Tessa Afshar's biblical fiction has been on Publishers Weekly, CBA, and ECPA bestseller lists and has been translated into 12 languages. Tessa's books have received Christie, INSPE, and ECPA Christian Book of the Year awards and are Carol, Christie, and ECPA Christian Book Award finalists. Born in the Middle East, Tessa spent her teen years in England and later moved to the United States. Her conversion to Christianity in her 20s changed the course of her life. Tessa is a devoted wife, a mediocre gardener, and an enthusiastic cook of biblical recipes. I interviewed Tessa last year when her other book came out, and she's just a dear, absolute dear. You may have seen her in the beginning of the A2A episode. Okay, so this is considered historical fiction. I would also say biblical fiction. Here's the summary. After gaining a position in Queen Esther's kitchens, Roxana discovers her dream job is fraught with palace intrigue. She must partner with Aidan, the Jewish royal physician, never far from her thoughts, in a race to save the life of a princess, despite the secrets their mission might uncover. So all sorts of intrigue and subterfuge and political nefariousness. So it could be taken out of the pages of the newspaper today. It's really good. And of course she's a biblical scholar too, by the way. All right. Now what's cool about this is that she will has this imaginary scroll that Esther is writing. So from the secret scrolls of Esther. She who was once great among the nations now sits alone like a widow. Once the queen of all the earth, she is now a slave. Lamentations 1 verse 1. The 25-year of King I always say Ahasuerus rule, but that's not it. She's gonna scold me for that. Okay. Let me tell you a secret. Being queen will break your heart. Young women weave sweet fantasies of bejeweled crowns and magnificent honors when they dream of a title. How little they understand the weight of that crown or the cost of true honor. Her writing is so beautiful. And this has a lot of mystery and intrigue, like I said. Oh, I've been waiting for this. Jaime Jo writes, Specters in the Glass House. Now, I had to fight my husband off because this was in my TBR, my to be read file, and he kept trying to grab it, but I'm just such a mean person. I wanted to be the first one to read it, so I did read it, and he read it afterwards, and of course loved it. So if you are not familiar with Jaime, I interviewed her, and I'll put the link down below in the description section. But she'll say her stories are like Scooby-Doo, where you're scared and scared and scared, and then you find out it's the janitor's with a sheet over his head. but it's so much more complex, especially this book. It's so much more complex. And yeah, it is scary. It is scary. So if you like scary, where you know that there are going to be answers at the end, this is the book for you. But it's always answers that are so surprising, and there's that twist that there's a helicopter. That's one of the things. We're close to a small regional airport. So even though I love airports, and I love planes, not so much helicopters, but it can be annoying when you're trying to record. Okay. All right. So if you don't know anything about Jaime, here you go. Jaime Jo Wright is the author of 10 novels, including Christie Award and Daphne du Maurier Award winner, The House on Foster Hill, and Carol Award winner, The Reckoning at Gossamer Pond. She's also a 3-time Christie Award finalist, as well as the ECPA best-selling author of The Vanishing at Castle Moreau, The Lost Boys of Barlow Theater. Oh my gosh. Wow. And 2 Publishers Weekly best-selling novellas. Jaime lives in Wisconsin with her family and fabulous felines, who actually, one of them showed up in our interview too. It's pretty cute. All right, this is considered suspense, and Jaime will tip it. I guess she always does. She always has a historical timeline, and then she has a contemporary timeline. And you've got the mysteries that kind of mesh together, and then, she works it all out. It's just amazing. Okay, so here is the summary. In 1921, heiress Marion Arnold begins having nightmarish visions in her family's butterfly house, but when she finds a body, she must separate her imaginings from reality. A century later, Remy Shaw embarks on a quest to uncover the truth behind Marion's mysterious life and the unsolved murders linked to an infamous serial killer. This one it's like a psychological thriller, too, that involves gaslighting, and it'll have something for everyone who likes suspense and mystery. Okay, we're going to start with Marion Arnold. Marion Arnold, Mullerian Manor, the countryside near Milwaukee, Wisconsin, October 1921, 1 year into Prohibition. Death had always been fashionable. Women celebrated it by donning black silks and feathers and shawls and lace. Men acknowledged it with a band on their hat or a mourning ring on their finger. Of course, that was more to announce their eligibility than anything else. For what man could continue to flourish in life without a wife to manage his household and rear the children? All right. Patricia Bradley. Okay. This is Deadly Revenge, and this is a Pearl River novel. I love this series, and I love Patricia Bradley because, once again, she does romantic suspense well, very well. So if you're not familiar with Patricia, here's a little bit about her. Patricia Bradley is the author of Counterattack and Fatal Witness, as well as the Natchez Trace Park Rangers, Memphis Cold Case, and Logan Point series. Bradley is the winner of an Inspirational Reader's Choice Award, a Selah Award, and a Daphne du Maurier Award. She is a Carol Award finalist, and 3 of her books were included in anthologies that debuted on the USA Today bestseller list. She makes her home in Mississippi. So it's romantic suspense, contemporary timeline. And here's a summary. After returning home to Pearl Springs, Jenna Hart didn't expect her new job as deputy to bring her in contact again with FBI agent Max Anderson. I actually knew a Max Anderson. He was an engineer in cloud physics research in Rolla, Missouri. Anyway, they team up to spot a killer on a path of revenge, only to have the tables turned on them when the hunted becomes the hunter. All right. Prologue. Chattanooga detective Jenna Hart backed her 10-year-old unmarked Chevy into the church parking lot beside an even older Ford. If things went south, she could make a quick getaway. Not that she was expecting anything to go wrong. But guess what? Yes. So that's it for this month. Appreciate you watching. And there's got to be 1 or 5 or 7 books in here that will be must-reads during your holiday vacations. I'm already starting on December's top picks, which is turning in to be very interesting. In the meantime, God bless and keep reading. And don't forget to watch the episode, my interview with Robin Jones Gunn. See ya.